I knew this was going to happen. Mamdani is back to the usual. And what I mean by that is basically, y'all remember when he was like, we're going to give you free buses. We're going to give you free food. All you can eat buffets everywhere. And you ain't got to pay for it. Everything's going to be free. I'm going to make it rain money with a money gun. Throw change at you to walk across the street. You know, he's saying all this stuff. And saying, I'm going to come at these big businesses and I'm going to take all their money. He didn't say that, but he said he's going to raise taxes on them. And got real aggressive with it and said he's going to do it and he's going to save everybody and everybody's going to have a bunch of free stuff and it's going to be a utopia because he's a democratic socialist. Yeah, he said all that. And then when he won immediately after, I remember Holcomb was like, I'm not doing all that. I'll support you to win, but I'm not doing all that. Well, now, Mamdani's saying, we're 7 million in the hole. We need 7 billion for the city to function for this year. We need that right now money. Now, after last week, we went through the books and we saved about 5 billion. We were about 12 billion. And now we're 7 billion. And we're going to need money from the state to give us money. And the governor, Holcomb, needs to step up and do more. Because our predecessor, the last mayor, ruined us and he lost all the money. And then he responded, the previous mayor, saying, well, New York, I think, puts in about 52% of the taxes to the state and receives maybe 42%. The numbers aren't exactly correct. But what I am saying to you is that New York gives to the state more than it receives. So asking for money isn't actually unreasonable. And even the previous mayor was like, there's bigger problems than this than just blaming the previous administration. This has been going on for years. So in that argument. Anyway, Mamdani's saying all these things, right? So Governor Holcomb also responds to that. And she goes, well, wait a minute. I've increased funding to New York City by over 30% more than my predecessor, which is true. So Mamdani's attacking the previous mayor and the governor and saying it's all their fault. It's all their fault. And it's like, that's kind of a Democratic thing, ain't it? Where they go back and forth like that. Happens with Republicans as well, so I can't even say it's just a Democratic thing. I'll take that back. Republicans do that to some degree. Maybe a bit lesser than Democrats, but they do it too. But I think this is all just smoke and mirrors. Because remember all the things he promised. And now, to me, this is posturing to then say, look, I'm doing everything I can. I got dealt a bad hand. I've done my best. Now, I know I didn't get you all the free stuff I promised you, but it's because the previous administration have been just throwing the money away. But you know what he's not mentioning is the taxes on the businesses and raising the taxes, kind of leaving that part, he ain't saying it as loud. Maybe he's still saying it, but he's being kind of quiet about that. And I knew this was going to happen. This is all posturing to say, I can't give you the free stuff because there's no money to give you the free stuff, which is funny because the criticism of him saying that he's going to give all that free stuff, everybody was asking where you're going to get the money from, and he said he's going to tax the rich, and now he's not even talking about the rich. He's going to the government, the governor, going to the state to get the money. Not the rich he said he's going to tax. He's going to the state to get the money. But they say it in a way that you don't even notice the play. New York residents have fell for the okie doke. They're not going to get none of that free stuff. It was never going to happen. And he's not going to tax the rich either, because they already pay about 50% of more than half of the taxes in the city anyway. You know what I mean? And in the end, any tax raises is probably going to affect the middle class more, which, let's face it, they would rather have you be a little bit poorer, because middle class people can do more and can say more, because it's about power. A politician ain't gonna get nowhere getting elected and saying, I'm gonna get you, sucker, to the people that run the city. Let's face it, the money, the rich are able to be able to do things because they have the power to do things. And as a mayor, you're a representative of the people. So you're gonna get more flies with honey than you are with vinegar. You know what I mean? Or bees. You know what I'm saying. And I just knew that whole approach was never going to work. I'm not saying you got to kiss the backsides of the rich, But you're not going to go up to them and call them names and insult them, and then you actually need them. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can disagree with them, but you don't go publicly and shame them for stuff, and you haven't even had to say a word to them yet. And that's the reality. He's going to have to work with them. He's not going to say that out loud, that he's going to have to if he wants anything done. Because the minute you raise the taxes, they can just leave. See, rich people can leave. They don't stay there. You remember Zuckerberg used to live in California, didn't he? He's in Florida now. They can leave. They have the ability to. Working class folk, we can't do that. So we got to be careful who we elect. You know what I mean? You got to be careful. It's one of them things, y'all. I knew this was going to happen. Because it's just, you got to get the money from somewhere. And what's going to happen is it's going to end up affecting the working class people more than anybody. To where you're either going to be better off being super rich or poor. The in-between people are the ones that are going to end up paying because they're the ones doing the hours to be taxed to the fullest ability. And the rich can afford to pay it. They pay most of it already. So you're not going to put more pressure on them. You don't want them to leave because they employ people, right? Because they have the power to. And the poor will collect their checks from the government. It's the same thing. The same old thing over and over. He ain't changing nothing. He just did that, y'all, to get elected.